Hi, this is Dr. Eric Thomas, going to try to answer questions that I get in the office every day. One of the most common is about a condition called rosacea. It used to be called acne rosacea because there is some superficial similarity to teenage acne, but a lot of differences. And it's pretty clear and pretty easy to make the differential diagnosis. Acne rosacea traditionally occurs a bit later in life. Could be in the 20s, could be in the 40s, could be mild, could be more severe. People with it usually feel that there are certain things, emotion, foods, that produce a warmth or flushing in their skin. A rather silly example that I frequently use is this. If you were at a party, the room was too warm, you were overdressed. Perhaps you bit into a hot wing. Maybe you had an alcoholic drink, and then you got into a vigorous political discussion. They could dim the room lights, and your cheeks would be gently glowing, and you could be used as the exit sign. All right, it's silly, but it gets people listening. So what is rosacea? I like to think of it as a super sensitive blush response, which also affects the oil glands. There's often a hereditary predisposition. I've seen it in all ethnicities and skin types. It is important to realize that there are several different stages. It's important to realize that it can be mistaken for more serious things. So it is important to get a good diagnosis. What could be more serious? Well, it's less common, but certainly certain autoimmune conditions such as lupus can produce the famous butterfly rash across the cheeks of erythema. That's usually associated with tiredness and sensitivity to the sun, but not always. So we occasionally do a blood test to rule out an autoimmune disorder, even though a person seems to have typical rosacea. Also, rosacea can feel warm. It certainly is hot. Doesn't usually itch to speak of. So especially if it goes up towards the eyelids, we do wonder about hidden allergic reactions. But that's the topic for another talk, which we'll get to eventually. Let's go back to rosacea. Assume that that's what's really going on here. So the first stage, the stage that often brings people in, is just the red stage. It could be a faint blush. It can be quite a bit more. There can be permanently broken blood vessels. It occasionally, in severe individuals, will show up on the forehead, and I've seen it down on the upper chest. Now, although there are creams and pills for rosacea, and we'll talk about those, they actually are more reliable for the second or third stage. Those stages involve glandular, oil gland enlargement. And yes, they can be helped with topical antibiotics. We use metronidazole gel. There's an ivermectin cream. And of course, frequently we go on to low-dose tetracycline types such as doxycycline or minocycline. But I always emphasize to people that we will try those in the first or just red stage, but don't count on them working. It is important, though, to try to keep it under control, because if you don't, then things will gradually get worse. And here's a big warning. Be very careful of cortisone creams on your face if you have rosacea. Oh yeah, they may seem to make it temporarily look a bit better, less red. But if you continue with steroid or cortisone creams, 1% hydrocortisone, and certainly stronger prescription strengths, there will be a boomerang effect. Although they initially cause the blood vessels to shrink a bit, so you say, whoa, good stuff. If you continue too long, you will get permanent dilation. So what do you do if you have permanent dilation? What do you do if you're a salesperson? What if people look at you and say, ooh, you've been drinking too much? I see these people all the time. We do have cosmetic procedures that are, I don't think, a fortune, that work very well. They're light-based. We use an intense pulsed light. Find it's more effective than lasers. Same technology. But in any event, there are things for that. So I hope that helps you a bit. And once again, we try to pick out topics that I see every day, try to answer it straight from the shoulder, the way that people want it answered. But feedback from you is important. Suggestion of future topics is appreciated. Can't promise to answer personally every email, but if you wish to send something, it's Dr. T, DRT, at nutmegdermatology.com or info@nutmegdermatology.com. Wishing you a wonderful day, wishing you good skin, and we'll try to come up with other topics that I think are important. Bye-bye.